A while back, I found my original Game Boy DMG. Sadly, the one on screen is not it. It's actually one I bought back in December to try out refurbing. And that was the actual plan of this video. But I realized I didn't have the proper equipment to pull it off. Not to mention, I f***ed up the screen connector on my first one during cleaning. I'm a f***ing idiot. By this point, I think it's redundant to talk about the Game Boy from a technological or historical standpoint. There are a lot of videos out there which does that, and they do an amazing job at it. So instead, I'll be talking about my history with the handheld. I don't know when my family got the Game Boy. All I know was that at age 4, it was already there, and my older brother is playing it. Like any other little troglodyte, I'd watch my brother play games like Super Mario Land and Batman. Next thing I know, I was the one playing. I don't remember how it went, but I'm pretty sure my brother had something to do with it. So to my brother, thanks! You're one of the reasons why I'm into gaming, and why I'm a piece of sh**. This thing made a good chunk of my early childhood, before my brother introduced me to the PS1. I remember being an idiot, not knowing how batteries worked. When it was finally explained to me, I pestered my parents to buy some. Of course, that didn't happen since batteries were expensive back then, and they weren't okay with constantly buying some. Instead, my father got us an 8-in-1 connector with a voltage regulator. While it did remove the portable part of the handheld, I really didn't care. I was young and all that mattered was I could play my game. I also remembered my brother having his own set of rechargeable batteries which he specifically used for the handheld. A thing that I'm amazed that still doesn't bother me to this day is the screen. Maybe it's the nostalgia, but I can't really complain about the lack of a backlight. The device is unusable in dark rooms as you won't see anything. You always need to play with a good source of light. Or maybe it's because I was supervised by my parents like real parents should. That said, my nostalgia won't stop me from attempting to backlight mod it. Let's talk about the games. I was actually lucky that my brother already had a few games from original cartridges to the bootleg 10-in-1s. As a child, I wasn't aware about the distinction of originals and bootlegs. To me, they had games and that's all that mattered. The 10-in-1s were nice to have though, despite being bootleg. The first game I've ever played was Super Mario Land, and this was also my first Mario game. Some might say it's not a good entry to the series, but I don't care. It's a good title that shouldn't be looked over despite its weirdness. Oh man, Tetris! I knew back then that this was something special as soon as I hear the music. Too bad my young short attention span didn't appreciate the game. The only thing that really bothers me now in this title specifically is the lack of a hard drop. I don't know if this was due to technical limitations, but that would have been really appreciated. Street Fighter 2, my first fighting game. Granted, this might not be the best version of the game, but I don't care. At the end of the day, this was the one that introduced me to the series and to the iconic characters. I do remember thinking the game was difficult, but I didn't know how to play it properly back then, and also for some reason, I really liked Blanca. Power Rangers the movie was my first exposure to Power Rangers that I can remember. I always thought playing as one was cool and the transformations were awesome. This game made me a fan of the series even though I haven't watched the TV series or movies back then. I remember being pissed off at the final boss because I thought it was unfair. King of Fighters 96 with the ever-familiar Takara sign. Unlike Street Fighter, I didn't really know that the title was a big deal or who the characters were. However, like Street Fighter, I didn't know how to play it properly. I remember spamming the select button to get a full roster and then button mashing my way through fights. Now that I know how to play, is it just me or is Athena broken? J-League winning goal. Published by, oh shit, EA! What a small world. I remember trying to injure the enemy team by using the slide tackle. I'm not sure if this actually happened, but I think my brother scolded me since I was playing to harm instead of actually playing the game. On the brighter side, I played playoff mode a lot, and I think I did at least 2 seasons. Until now though, I don't know the teams and who they are. Cork is a puzzle game that I was too stupid for as a child. I didn't know the solutions to the puzzles unless my brother would teach me what it was. I don't think I even knew that redoing is allowed. It's a cool puzzle game though and was unique at the time. Actually, I don't even know if there's a game like it out there now. Last but not least is Pokemon Yellow. I remember trying to get my mom to buy this from a game store in a local mall. This was back during my Pokemon high when I used to religiously watch the first season or play the card game with my brother. I also remembered being given a choice of Pokemon Red or Yellow, but when the salesperson said Pikachu follows you, I didn't care about Red anymore. We're just scratching the surface of the games I used to play. To be fair, I didn't own most of the cartridges. Like I said, a lot of them were in 10-in-1s, and I remember times where I bought them instead of getting actual cartridges. I wasn't wrong in that decision, but I'm not entirely right either. Now I plan to collect some cartridges similar to how I'm currently collecting PS1 and PSP games. That said, have I been playing any DMG games recently? Yes, I have, thanks to emulations. Aside from patched ROMs, I've been playing 2 games specifically. First is Kirby's Dreamland. Here's the thing, I've always heard how good the Kirby games are and how people fawn at the character's cuteness. I never understood it until now. I wish I actually checked this out earlier. This is one of the best action platformers I've played, and I know it's a heavily weighted statement, but I don't care. I understand that the first game isn't the best one to get into now, and I know that the series gets better, but the gameplay, despite being simple, is pretty freaking solid. Second is Great Greed, and I honestly didn't know there were other JRPGs in the handheld other than Pokemon. I know I've probably triggered some of you, but I'm serious here. I only knew of this recently because I was curious. Anyways, the story is super simple, but the battle system is so unique. I think the way they handled it was ingenious because it's basically dealing with the system's capabilities and limitations. This gets a solid recommendation for those looking for JRPGs on the system. There are a few games I'm planning to check out like God Medicine, Sword of Hope, and Aretha. Just a quick note, I'm really glad God Medicine has an English translation and really disappointed that the Game Boy version of Aretha doesn't. Either I'm playing the SNES version or I'm going in blind. Aside from the games, I've also taken interest in the homebrew and dev side. I'm amazed that there are people making games for the system 3 decades later, and what they have done is freaking amazing. If you're interested in development, you might want to check out GB Studio. I know I am. Let me wrap things up by first saying I can't believe that I tried to neglect this part of my gaming history. I've been so focused on my PlayStation consoles that I started to deny the influence of the Game Boy and Nintendo in my gaming life. That said, I do plan to make Game Boy videos now as a way to rectify this mistake, and I hope that this handheld, who made a lot of people happy, continue to make the next generation of gamers happy as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.